Today we are going to do some keto baking. I'm going to show you how I make my keto chocolate zucchini muffins. They taste so good, you're going to think that they're a cupcake, but they are really low carb. They have 2 whole zucchinis in them. They're packed with protein from the eggs and the almond flour, and they're sweetened with monk fruit, which helps keep them really low carb. I'm going to share my favorite keto chocolate chips that I use to make these a double chocolate zucchini muffin, and my hack of how I get all of the moisture squeezed out of the zucchini so the muffins don't come out soggy. These make a great breakfast, on-the-go snack. You could even serve them as dessert. They freeze perfectly and my kids cannot get enough of them, and I love giving it to my kids because they're packed with zucchini, but they don't even know it. So let's get cooking. I'm gonna start off by mixing all of my dry ingredients. So it's 1.5 cups of almond flour, half a cup of cacao powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, and half a teaspoon kosher salt. I'll use my whisk to combine these, stir them all together, and then set it aside. Next, I'm gonna do the wet ingredients. So in this large bowl, I've already cracked in my eggs. The recipe calls for 4 large eggs, but my chickens have been laying really tiny eggs lately, so I use 6 tiny eggs, which is the equivalent of 4 large eggs. To that, I'm gonna add in 1/4 cup of coconut oil. I melted this in the microwave and then I let it cool to room temperature, so it's still liquid but not hot. To sweeten this, I am using monk fruit, which is my favorite keto-friendly sweetener. If you don't need this to be keto, you can use any sweetener at all. You could use coconut sugar, maple syrup, even plain white sugar would work. It's going to get 1/2 cup of the monk fruit and then 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Okay, now I'll whisk all of this together to combine it. Now I can add the dry ingredients into my wet ingredients, and I have the spatula here to fold it all together. Now that this is all combined, there's 2 more ingredients to add. The most important ingredient is the zucchini. I already grated 2 zucchinis on my box grater. Then I added them to this nut milk bag so I could squeeze out all the moisture. The nut milk bag is my favorite just because you don't have to worry about the zucchini slipping out. You could also use cheesecloth. If you don't have that, you could even use a paper towel. So now I'll add all of this in to the mixture, and you can see it's nice and dry. It's like pulp. So this way the muffins won't get too soggy. That's why you want to get all of the water squeezed out. Last is some dark chocolate chips. I'm using these keto-friendly dark chocolate chips that are sweetened with monk fruit. They're my favorite ones, but you could use any dark chocolate that you have, even a dark chocolate bar that you want to chop up into chunks. So I'll add in 1/2 cup of the chips and then fold it all together. It is combined, and this is exactly what you want your batter to look like. Thick, but you can still pour it. And then I always have to sneak one little taste. So good. Here I have my silicone muffin pan that I've already sprayed with coconut oil spray. I love this silicone muffin pan because it doesn't have any of that toxic non-stick coating on it. One tip though, it is silicone, very bendable. So before you pour the batter in, you want to put it on a rimmed baking sheet so that it doesn't spill when you pick it up. If you have a metal muffin pan, you can use muffin cup liners, either paper or silicone ones, that you'll want to line before you put the batter in. So now you want to put the batter into the muffin pan. You could pour it in, but to keep it really even and not too messy, I like using a large cookie scoop to add the batter into the muffin pans, and it's about 2 scoops for each muffin cup. It fills them up perfect. You want to fill them up to the very top. That way when they bake, they get those nice puffy muffin tops. They're all filled. I like to top it with a sprinkle of chocolate chips on top. That way they look really pretty. When you take them out of the oven, you can see the chocolate chips right on top. Okay, these are now ready for the oven. They're gonna bake at 350 for about 25 minutes. Here they are out of the oven. These took a little closer to 30 minutes. You know they're done when you insert a skewer inside and it comes out dry with just a couple crumbs. If it has batter on it, you need to keep baking for another minute or 2 until it comes out dry. To pop them out of the silicone muffin mold, I like to lift it up and I'll push from the bottom. And you can see they come right out perfectly clean. I love this pan. I'll have a link to it below. These are so chocolatey and moist. You can taste a little bit of the sweetness from the zucchini, the great melty chocolate from the chocolate chips, and the top of these muffins get like a good, like kind of crispy crust. These are so good. Thanks so much for watching. If you like my videos, be sure to subscribe so you never miss one of my keto recipes.